Joining us for a conversation is Sean Kun of Dolly Varden Silver. Mr. Kun, thank you for joining us today, sir.
Maurice, thanks for having me.
Oh, great to have you on the program as Dolly Varden Silver is looking to connect the dots on the high-grade gold-silver Kitsaw Valley project. Before we begin, Mr. Kun, for someone new to Dolly Varden Silver, please introduce us to the opportunity your company presents to the market.
Yeah, thank you, Maurice. So Dolly Varden is a very unique company in that there are very few pure silver companies in the market. And so we represent a pure silver opportunity. And what makes us special amongst a unique group of companies is most of our competitors are in parts of the world that are becoming more and more increasingly difficult to mine. And we are located in Canada, a safe, stable country. So we've got a high grade, large resource in silver in Canada.
Mr. Kun, take us on to the Wolf Vein deposit, which is wide open for expansion along strike and to depth, where Dolly Varden Silver has just announced what may be the most promising news for shareholders to date regarding step-out drilling, high-grade intersects, and most important, continuity, beginning with hole DV 23368. Mr. Kun, what can you share with us?
Well, Maurice, just for anybody new, I want to put a little bit of color and context around what the Wolf deposit represents. The Wolf deposit is one of 7 deposits that make up our mineral resource. In all categories, we've identified about 140 million ounces of silver equivalent in all categories. And we think that we are 15% of the way in terms of unlocking the full potential of the district. So the question that we're trying to answer as we hover around 150 million ounces of silver is this a billion-ounce silver camp? And the way we're growing is through stepping away from the known veins, the known deposits, and seeing if they extend and expand. So what hole 368 represented was we stepped away 75 meters, and we hit, not only do we hit very strong silver grades, close to 400 grams per ton, the specific number was 381 grams per ton, but we drilled that over 29 meters. And so the vein, the robustness, the width of the vein is almost 30 meters. And why that's significant is when we look at where that vein started at surface, almost a kilometer away, that vein was maybe 9 meters. And so what we're seeing is we're seeing the vein blow out at depth. So it's not just about the continuous, extension and the fact that it's still open, Maurice. It's still open, and there are areas below it where we had success from the 2022 campaign, and whether that means there's a parallel vein or this vein is just that robust. There's still some things that we are learning about the deposit, but the bottom line is we are growing at grade, we are growing at width, and this is one of 7 deposits that is showing a lot of growth potential. And Maurice, one thing I want to add is we are on the hunt for 50 million ounce silver deposits on the property. We've got one in Torbrit, and we really think Wolf can be the next one, but we also have other targets on the property like Moose and others that we think could represent very, very large silver systems on the property. And then in addition to all the silver, we've got 1 million ounces of gold at Homestake, Maine, and we are currently exploring other targets that look very similar to Homestake, Maine. So the question is, how many 50 million ounce silver deposits are on the property? How many 1 million ounce gold deposits are on the property? We've got one of each so far, but if we can get to a place where we've got 5 of each, this is going to be a world class system in one of the safest mining jurisdictions on the planet.
Well, what an exciting value proposition. Regarding the continuity, there seems to be a pattern of separation for the deposits on the Kitsap Valley project. How does today's press release increase the confidence level in your team that there could be much more blue sky between that 5.4 kilometers separating the Wolf and the Homestake?
Yeah, our VPX, Rob Van Egmont, who's done such a great job moving this project forward, talks about the paradicity, talks about the repeating pattern that, you've got this mineralized fault that we've got about 15 kilometers in control with 100% ownership. And every kilometer and a half, there seems to be another major deposit. And Maurice, there is a 5.5 kilometer gap that you brought up. So we should be able to fit 3 more major deposits in that gap. And if you look at where the Torbrit deposit is, Wolf is north of Torbrit. Moose is starting to move up into that gap zone. And so I think we're on the edge. Now, the other exciting part of the project that I'm really anticipating some results from are 5.5 kilometers north of Wolf, up at Homestake Silver. Mm-hmm. And so right next to the 1 million ounce gold deposit is this large high-grade silver deposit, Homestake Silver, and it's part of the property that we focused on this season. So we've got a lot of results. Now, I don't know if you remember last year, we had a 200-meter step-out hit at Homestake Silver. So this is a property where there is about 4 or 5 different areas that are showing tremendous upside, and it's very exciting. And it's why that we embarked on a plus 50,000 meter drill program this year, which has been the largest in the company's history. And we've only reported about 10,000 meters of drilling, so we have a lot of drill results to continue to report.
Speaking of the drill program, how far along are you into the program?
We are starting to get very, very close to wrapping up the plus 50,000 meter drill program. So, we're imminently going to be, just focusing on cutting core, logging core, and rushing samples off to the assay lab.
So would you say you have about 10,000 or less meters?
To complete?
A
lot less.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're very, very, very close to completion.
All right, sir. Leaving the Wolf deposit, in terms of news flow, when can shareholders expect to receive the next update on your team's progress?
That's a really good question. It's a hard question to answer because we are awaiting third-party assay lab verification. So, we did have a press release out on August the 8th. We followed up on September the 11th. If I looked back at last year to try to come up with, some type of a pattern in terms of results, we were reporting on a monthly basis. So it's the 25th of September. We will have drill results out in October.
Switching gears, let's get into some numbers. Mr. Kun, please provide the capital structure for Dolly Varden Silver.
We have approximately 255 million shares issued and outstanding. We've got some tremendous shareholders, and I think, apart from the location, the size, and the grade making us unique, I think the other aspect, and this goes back to the cap structure and the shareholdings, it's shareholders like Eric Sprott that owns 10%. It's shareholders like Hecla Mining that owns 10%. It's the unusually high institutional ownership of 50%. And then if you factor in our largest shareholder is a public company that owns almost 25% of the company, you really have 93% in the hands of institutions, corporates, or Mr. Sprott. So we only have 7% in the hands of the public.
Last question, sir. What did I forget to ask?
Maurice, you're thorough. You never forget anything. We can touch on the silver price if you want a little bit. We've got
Certainly.
23 silver. I am in the camp that believes between now and the spring, we're going to see a breakout in the silver price. And I just would encourage your audience to look at where silver companies were trading in April when we had $26 silver and where those same companies are today at $23 silver. And I think we're going to get into a price environment that's a lot higher than 26. And I think there's a tremendous opportunity in silver equities today.
Well, Mr. Kun, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today. Wishing you and Dolly Varden Silver the absolute best, sir.
Thanks, Maurice.
The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice, or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.